What's up, people? You know that guy Steven Spielberg? I talked about his movies for 2.5 hours that one time. Well, he's back with his first new movie in 4 years, Disclosure Day. I don't know how well this is gonna do at the box office since it's a new IP and the youth of today don't seem all that interested in Spielberg, but I am pretty happy that a major studio can still release a summer blockbuster that isn't part of a major franchise, solely banking off of the name of one awesome auteur. I think a lot of pre-release speculation about this movie was that it would serve as a spiritual successor to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but after watching it, that really isn't true at all. It sort of takes elements from a lot of different movies across his decades-long career, but if I had to name one specific Spielberg movie this feels the most like, it would have to be Minority Report. And in case you don't remember or didn't see my ranking, I'm pretty pleased about that, since Minority Report is top 5 Spielberg for me. For a huge chunk of the runtime, this is just an exciting, tense, shockingly bleak conspiracy thriller. People are on the run from a big government agency, all with a ton of interesting sci-fi twists mixed in. And let me tell ya, this shit had me glued to my seat. Once you figure out what the villain can do with this alien tech, it makes for old Stevie's most terrifying and intense scenes in over 2 decades. There's this interrogation scene that makes use of the alien tech that might just be an all-timer scene in Spielberg's filmography for me. Josh O'Connor is at the center of all this espionage stuff, and he's really good in this movie. I like how despite being a part of this dangerous mission, he's just a guy who's clearly in way over his head. It makes for some pretty funny sequences. And the same is true for Emily Blunt's character. There's this scene where she has to destroy a phone, which had me rolling. It's so good. In general, Emily Blunt has a commanding grip on her character in this film. She has a really overwhelming supernatural thing happen to her, and by God, you believe it's happening. She gets so frantic and flustered, but never loses that sympathetic quality to the performance that keeps you invested. This might just be her best performance in any movie to date. Honestly though, the one performance I keep thinking about is this character who shows up for the first time in the final 10 minutes of the movie. I obviously don't want to say anything more, but holy shit did they sell that character. I might have to say they're the best performance in the whole film, which is insane. I don't think I've ever seen a performance hit a buzzer beater like that and kind of run away with the whole movie. There are a lot of elements and themes from Spielberg's other films that show up here in some capacity. I noticed a bit of thematic overlap with The Fabelmans, and honestly, there were some elements that felt like Spielberg's attempt to rationalize and redeem a lot of what Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was trying to do. Really wasn't expecting that, but hey, I'll take it, I guess. Overall, this is a really tense and thrilling film, though I couldn't help but feel like a lot of its weightier ideas were a bit undercooked. I get the sense that it was trying to say a lot about the nature of empathy and our own personal journeys to find our sense of meaning, but it kind of falls short of fully expanding on those ideas. And even the conspiracy thriller aspect of the film starts to weaken just a bit as it goes on, for one simple reason. The villains are really bad at their job. Like, they start getting more and more incompetent as the film goes on, and it started getting a little hard to take the threat seriously. There's a scene where Emily Blunt gets away from them quite easily with some sort of supernatural ability. Okay, I guess I could buy that. But then she just keeps doing it again and again. So much of the third act is just you realizing, oh, she's untouchable. There's literally nothing the bad guys can do. At this point, why are they still here? The main villain makes a choice towards the end that I thought was pretty interesting, but I think in order for it to fully land, we needed to know a little bit more about him. They try and flesh him out, but I just don't think they did it nearly well enough. And he really needed a bit more dimension for that final thing he does to really land dramatically. Credit where it's due though. Once all the villain nonsense is over, the final sequence of the film is outstanding. Good old-fashioned grade A Spielberg doing what he does best. The movie is well directed throughout. There are some very creative shot compositions, but this final sequence is where it all comes together, baby. This movie is an awesome marriage of bleak as hell 2000 Spielberg and good old-fashioned sentimental Spielberg. I think most of its weaknesses lie in the script, and it undoubtedly won't work for everyone. As a 2026 summer blockbuster, this is admittedly a bit ballsy because there are a lot of elements that aren't directly spoon-fed to you. I feel like it's ultimately gonna piss a lot of people off and leave a lot of other people a bit indifferent, but damn did it ever work for me in spite of its flaws. I'm gonna give Disclosure Day an 8 out of 10. Pulling up my handy dandy Spielberg ranking, I think I would slot it into the number 14 spot, right above War of the Worlds 2005. I have a feeling this might similarly go down as a very divisive, alien-themed piece of Spielberg's filmography. But man, do both of them hit for me, in spite of their weaknesses in the script department. War of the Worlds 2005 is great. F you. I'm just thrilled to have 2000 Spielberg back in this new movie, since that was his best decade, to be frank. And hey, 2020 Spielberg has made nothing but bangers so far. So maybe this'll go down as an all-timer decade for him as well. Unless his next movie is like Ready Player 2 or some shit. Please don't make Ready Player 2 Spielberg. That's for the Sean Levys of the world to handle. Anyway, that's about it. Good night, Kansas City.